Good morning. I want to ask you a question. When you wake in the early hours of the morning, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about things in the past? Is your mind whirling over and over things that are troubling you or bothering you? Or are you focusing on things which are beautiful? Maybe gifts that people have given you. Maybe a special gift that you've bought yourself. Maybe you're focusing on a painting that someone's done for you. Or even something that you can start to create today. What are you focusing on? Have you got a lid on your thoughts? Do you stop them in their tracks? I'm very aware that this is probably not my most flattering poses, but do you know what? I've got past that point of worrying about that. I spent a lot of my life trying to be something that maybe I wasn't meant to be, but I wished I could be. And I want to take a few moments just to talk about something which is very dear to me, and something which was born out of place of anger. I think a lot of us are afraid of our feelings. We see anger as something which we shouldn't be feeling. I want to say anger can be something from which you can make changes. It could be a very powerful energy when you put it into something which is constructive. You might think, but I don't like being angry. And that's okay to say that. I don't like being angry either. And believe me, I do know, because my new book, which I'm going to find it in a moment, see if I can find it. It's sitting here beside me on the pillow. Free to be me. Right. It's now available. It's up on Amazon. And I'll send you a link so that you can make your purchase if you want to. Free to be me. And the whole concept between my mind and this book is to help you to be free to be yourself. Because it wasn't until 3 years ago that I actually really found out. Once I found my purpose, but my purpose took on a whole new meaning. What would you do if you woke up one day and suddenly your life changed? I've been struggling for weeks on and off with a recurring cough and chest infection, which just didn't seem to want to go away. Now you might ask, why have I turned the lights down? Why am I taking my glasses off? Because I was brought to a point in my life where all I could see was darkness. I woke up early hours of one morning with this sharp pain in my leg. Well, actually, retracting a moment, I felt like my leg wasn't there. And when I went to turn over, I had this shooting pain that went right through my leg, right up through my body and into my mind. And I didn't understand at the time, but this was to be the beginning of a whole new journey. I can't tell you what I actually saw in that moment. All I remember is this feeling of, what the heck? As I stared into the night, all I could see was darkness. And this little voice in my head said, Don't panic, Dawn. You've just had a little stroke. And that was the words I heard. I found myself in a place that I'd witnessed others being. I used to do palliative care. I'd actually watched someone have a stroke right in front of my eyes. I was able to save their life. But this was different because this was me. I felt a calmness coming over me, which I can't explain. But in that moment, I just felt so grateful. Grateful that I could breathe. I couldn't talk. I couldn't even shout out to Paul to say, help me. I couldn't even explain what I was feeling right then. I just kept breathing, and suddenly all the breathing techniques, everything I knew about staying calm, everything I'd learnt at work, felt really important. And I just lay there thinking how grateful I was. How grateful I was for the techniques I'd learnt, for the people who taught me, people who tested me in the past and helped me to realise that calmness is the only way through. And I felt this overwhelming feeling of calmness. And I can't tell you how long I lay there, but I knew I couldn't move. It was the strangest feeling, and yet I didn't feel panicky. I felt this amazing calm coming over me. And somewhere, after some time, and I can't tell you how long, I must have drifted off to sleep. And when I woke up the next day, I knew that something in me had changed. My perspective on life was suddenly very, very different. I felt like suddenly I couldn't put up with things that were... I can't tell you where this awareness came from even. It was like I needed to change some things in my life. And this came about because I was so angry. If we rewind 1 week, I'd been trying to get my book published, and it felt like, and this was just my feeling, it may not have been true, that the publisher wasn't taking me seriously. And although my book was absolute priority to me, and it felt like it was meant to change the world, he was not taking that seriously. And on Easter morning, Easter Monday, I had a conversation with him, which I don't normally like bothering people on a bank holiday. But anyway, I had this conversation with him, and he ended the conversation by saying, well, I think I've used up enough of my day right now. And off he went. And I felt this sickening knot in the bottom of my tummy as I put the phone down. And this pain, it was beyond pain. This pain went from my stomach right up to my head, and I had the most blinding headache ever. I felt like my head was going to explode. Suddenly this anger inside me took over my whole body, my whole mind. I was just consumed by this anger. And I was going to wait until daytime and tell you this. I was going to get dressed up, but no, I'm free to be me. And you might think it's a bit strange, I'm sitting here in my dressing gown in the middle of the night. But do you know what? When we can put aside things that have happened to us, we can change our world. So coming back to my story, I can't remember what else happened that day. I just remember this blinding headache and finding myself, I'd gone from the chair to the bed, and I can't remember how I got there. But for 3 days, this headache just persisted. My blood pressure went up and up and up. And I felt angry, really, really angry. And all I could hear was these words going over my head. I've used up enough of my day. And they might have been just flippant words that this chap used. But all I heard in my head is, I've wasted enough of my day. And these thoughts gone over in my head, like a drum beating against against the inside of my head. And my message to you is, please, if you get angry about something, recognise it's okay to use that anger to do something constructive, but don't let it consume you. Don't let it become who you are. Anyway, back to my story. About 3 days after, so we're coming now towards the Friday, Easter morning, the day before I'd woke up and I felt better in myself. So, I think this was the Thursday. I felt calmer in myself. I felt this calmness coming over me. And I thought, I'm not going to allow one person to spoil my life, to take away my dream. And I had this in my head that no, this book needs to be done. I didn't want to go back and confront him, and I don't know why, but that's one of my childhood patterns. Not liking to cause a stir, not want to rock the boat, not want to upset people. And so, I went to bed that night with a peacefulness in my mind that something needs to change. I don't know what it was, but something needs to change. Well, it was that night when I woke up in the middle, early hours of the morning, with this strange feeling of, first my leg wasn't there, and then this amazing pain, which led to me having a stroke. And I'm not here to say this is a bad thing, because that was a turning point once again in my life where suddenly I had this awareness that I can take back my own personal power. I can empower myself to take back my own power, to do something for me. And that this person wasn't actually doing it against me. He was doing it because that's how he felt today. But I would take it personally. And that's my message to you today. One of the messages is, are you taking it personally when someone treats you badly? Yes, it is personal because it's hurting you. Be honest about how you're feeling and take those thoughts out of your head. Write them down. And coming back to my story, I didn't actually feel like writing for those next few days, for the next few weeks. I just laid around, I slept, and I slept, and I slept. And I ate and I slept. And that's all I could do. I could still hear these words going round in my head, that I've wasted my time on you. It wasn't what he said, that's what I heard. My thought is, how many times do we focus on what's gone wrong and it builds up to a point in our life where it's actually destroying us? Something inside is eating away at us with this frustration, this anger, this guilt, this whatever it is. How many times in your life, how many days do you waste with those feelings? Or do you turn them around? From this calmness that I felt and these words which were beating away at the inside of my head, I actually had this thought, right, if he won't help me, I'm going to find someone who will. So I went off on a journey to find a new publisher. And you might ask, why didn't I go back to him? That's another story for another day. But anyway, went off, found another publisher in America and started this new journey. And I knew in my heart of hearts that this book needs to be written. So it wasn't for me initially, it was to help other people. So Free to Be Me, which is available on Amazon. But I would say, when you're looking at this book, okay, do you see a sunset? and the end of a story? Or do you see a sunrise and the beginning of a new day, a new dawn, a chance to start again? And coming back to your life, when something goes wrong in your life, do you see this as an ending or something you have to put up with? Or do you see this as an opportunity to turn things around and start again? What are your thoughts on that? Because if you use that anger constructively, you can turn things around. Anger can destroy you, can almost kill you. And I do believe that is often the underlying cause of dis-ease. Dr. Bach said, when there's a void between your thinking and who you are, it's when dis-ease sets in. I haven't got my remedies with me at the moment. No, I'm looking around and they're on the other side of the room. So for a moment, I'll just go with my understanding. When I first started writing my book, the first book, it was because I want to share the message about how wonderful the Bach flower remedies are. And that's Bach, B-A-C-H, flower remedies. And if you want more information, check it out on my website, dawncrystal.com. I actually thought they were the most amazing thing on earth, because for me, they helped to turn my life around. They helped me to stop me going down that road of mental health and discovering who I was meant to be. So there is an underlying feeling of sadness. I think that I spent a lot of my life not being happy, not knowing who I was. But the joy I feel every time I present those remedies to somebody or offer them to somebody is absolutely priceless. Because I still remember what it feels like when someone gave me that gift, when someone showered me with a choice. They gave me an option I didn't know existed. And I'm very aware that this video is now going into 18 minutes. You're probably thinking, get to the point, Dawn. The point is, if you are stuck in a situation in your life right now and it doesn't feel right, it's causing disharmony or dis-ease within your mind, listen to that. Listen to what your body's telling you. When you feel that sinking feeling in your stomach, that something doesn't feel right, listen to what your body is telling you. Write those thoughts down on paper, because those thoughts were the initial cause or the initial reason for my book, is to help me clear my head. So writing my thoughts down became my salvation. It became my way of clearing my head. And that's one of the tips and ideas that I talk about in my book. How powerful it is to just let go, just to put your thoughts on paper, to let those feelings out of your mind, out of your precious body, and put them out in front of you so you can be more objective. And this book is actually like 3 books in one. I got a bit carried away. I did have an option of doing 3 different books, but actually, no, I was just choosing to be me. It was going to be a mini book, but as you can see, that didn't work. And sometimes your plans change for a reason. There is a reason behind everything that happens in your life. Seriously. You may not see it right now. But when you start on a journey of discovery, you start unravelling why you feel the way you do, and being honest with yourself, you can start to turn your life around. Don't wait for someone outside of you to give you permission. Don't wait for the circumstances around you to change. Start today. Just take a deep breath in and be honest with yourself. Are you happy with where you're at right now? What are your thoughts taking you further and further away from who you're meant to be? Just take 1 hour of today and think more carefully about what you're thinking. Put those thoughts on paper. And this is one of my favourite paintings. I've got to go over here because that's one of my favourite paintings. I actually like to think that I'm actually, can't get it in perspective, standing at the cliffs at the bottom, looking out over the water, and all of my feelings are just flowing away. Just taking a bird's eye view of my life, just looking at life through colours, through a sense of freedom and knowing that I have a choice to let go. It doesn't matter about all the rest of the clutter, all the things in my life that are going on right now. All that matters is that I have a choice. And my message to you through my book is you have a choice. You personally have a choice. If your life has become out of balance, you don't like it, it doesn't feel good to you, and that's the key, it doesn't feel good to you. No, I don't think it's good. I don't feel good about what's happening. This is your time to change. To make a transformation in your life that will last a lifetime. To make a new choice. And at the beginning of the book, I talk through ways that you can change your days. I go into different therapies that you could try, different techniques. Throughout the book, I will talk about different remedies that will help and support you. Then there's a whole section on how the past has had an impact on you and how it could have influenced who you are and how you feel right now about yourself. And then there's a whole section which was the initial reason for writing the book on the Bach flower remedies. And then finishing off with a little bit of a understanding of why I initially started to write books. So, it's time to smile, time to open up your eyes, time to make a change in your life. And I know this is probably a little bit longer than a normal video that you'd sit and watch, but this is coming up to 23 minutes, probably 25 by the time I've finished. 25 minutes of your life investing in you. So some of you might look at this book and think, God, that's huge. I'm never going to get through that. Well, I've designed it so that wherever you open that book today, there is a message in there for you. And I would say, open that book. And what does it say to you? And the thought that came up is on page 133. What thoughts and vibrations are you sending out? Alongside over concern for others. So think about that. Are your thoughts helping? First of all, yourself. Are they helping others? What thoughts could you send out that will be more helpful, more supportive, more uplifting? What thoughts could you use today that will turn your life around? Let's open up another page, page 366. And it says, do you need some reassurance? Yes, you do. Every day, through every step, however good or not so good your day feels, reassure yourself. Give yourself kind words of encouragement, kind words which praise you, lift you up, and make you feel like you are important. Don't wait for someone else to make your life feel better. Turn your day around and start from today. Remember, the book is called Free to Be Me. It's about you making choices. It's about you stepping in to the truth of who you can be. I will do some more presentations during the week, because what I do plan to do is some workshops that will actually help you to break down some of the things that are in your life that maybe feel like barriers and challenges right now, or even tests, to help you see the opportunities within everything that has happened in your past and what's happening today. So anyway, this is Dawn, and it's now 3:24 in the morning. And I want to say, when you wake up in the night, don't sit there pondering on what's gone wrong. Take those thoughts out of your head, put them on paper, and when you've cleared your head, just breathe and let go. And I'll go more into what you can do with those thoughts later on. Anyway, for the moment, empty your mind and help your mind to be at peace. Help your body and your soul to start feeling that calmness within you again. Thank you for listening, and not every video is going to be as long as this, but today I thought I have this idea to do something and I need to do it. Listen to that inner voice. If it's not being your best friend right now, empty it onto paper, and then your higher self, your inner voices will start to reassure you, it will start to calm you, and it will start to guide you. Everything from this day starts from a new choice, and you too can be free to be you. Enjoy your new journey, and keep an eye out, because every day I'm going to see if I can pop on and just give you a little bit of advice. Maybe open up a page and send you a message. Let me know if the message resonates with you, because within this book, okay, on the back you'll see I'm offering some free, I was going to say free time. Actually, it's not free time, because I'm going to ask that you invest in yourself. So some half-price consultations, just to get you started, just to get you in the flow of going with your flow. So invest in yourself today. What's going on in your life right now that you would like to turn around? And together we can turn that around. You can do it. Thank you for listening, and thank you to all those wonderful, wonderful people who've stepped in and helped me. And I've got to do a whole video on that, because there were so many wonderful people who helped me. And without each and every one of you, you know who you are for the moment. I am truly, truly grateful. Thank you. And to you for listening, a massive thank you. And good morning. Let this be a new day. A new you. This is your day to rise up and start to shine. This is the day when you can choose to be free to be you. Thank you.